In this video, quickly, I want to show you why we need relations between models in PrismaDB, and I'm going to do that with a practical example. Here I have a list of items. It's a list of CVs. So I have a model for CV. I'm calling that CV session. Let me show it to you in the code. Here we have in Prisma basically a schema. So here we define our models. The very first model I have is CV session with the name of CV, with the path CV is saved, user ID related to that CV, create an update date for that CV. So here we have a list of CVs, and whenever I click on one of these CVs, it goes to another page, and here, as you can see, this is the ID for the CV, and for each unique CV we have a list of analysis. If I try to create a new analysis, for instance new analysis, and when I post it, I get a new record here. So basically here we have another model for saving the analysis based on the CV and job description. So here basically a CV can have different analysis, but every analysis can only have one CV session basically. Let me show it to you in the code. Here I have another model called analysis result, and here I put CV session ID so that I know that this analysis result is for this CV. So each CV can have a list of different analysis results basically. An alternative example for this would be something like this, that you can say that we have here books, and here we have chapter, book and chapter. So basically each book can have different chapters, but a chapter can only have one book. One chapter is only related to one book. It can be assigned to two books. So that's a whole point, and it is called one-to-many relation basically. So what I used to do before to have a relation between these two models was that when I wanted to save analysis result, I would say that CV session ID would be the ID for the related CV session, for the related CV, and that was the only thing I was doing, and it is gonna work to some extent, and for some cases it doesn't work and you need an actual relation in Prisma. Let me show you to you what I mean by that. So whenever I click on one of these items, or basically analysis, it goes to another page and it shows the data related to that, and this is where we are. So here I'm querying PrismaDB to find the analysis result I want based on the ID here I have. So simply I can say that find unique where ID equals to analysis result ID, and it returns the analysis result with this ID. Now what if I wanted to return all the CV results related to one CV? What we can do here is that we can say, take a look at the model here, we can say that CV session should be equal to the CV session ID we want. Okay, that's simple. I can just grab this ID and put it here. It should be dynamic, but for the sake of this example I'm just gonna hard code it. So here I have the ID for CV session, and now what it will do is that it tries to return an analysis result with this ID and with this session ID, or I can even get rid of this ID altogether, but this isn't what we want here because we want just one unique analysis result. Now here we have basically pretty much a relation, and then after that what we can do, if we want the data for CV session, simply we can just go ahead and create another query here, and here we can say that CV session, and if you take a look at this, based on the ID we can grab the CV session ID and put it here, and now we have access to CV session as well, and we can get the data we want. For instance, if we want to have the user for this analysis result, what we can do, we get the CV session based on the ID, and then now we have access to the user ID. But this is not really optimal way to do that. The optimal way to do that is being able to search based on the parent model properties. So here, if there is a relation between analysis result and CV session like this, I would like to be able to search all the analysis results based on the user ID. For instance, I want all the analysis results with this user ID. But here, there isn't actually a relation between these two to do that. What we can do in PrismaDB is using relations. You need to add this here, analysis result, empty brackets here, and then the actual line is here in the analysis result. So here I would say that I want to have a CV session column basically with CV session type. Here you need to put the model name, and then it's a relation, and the fields in the source should be CV session ID, and here is the field in the target model references ID, this ID. Basically this line says that this session ID is exactly as this ID. So with that you can attach these two models together. Now with that, what I can do, let me just push the change to PrismaDB. Prisma generate first, and PrismaDB push. And now what I can do here is simply, if I just get rid of all of these parts, here we can say that find those analysis results that their CV session user ID equals to user ID. If you don't have that relation in place, you can't do something like this here. Now also I can include the data for CV session, and I can have it in the analysis result object. So basically I can have all the information here inside this CV session, and the only thing I need to do, just say include CV session true, and now I have all the data with CV session and analysis result. So let's test this and see how it looks like. I click on one of these items here. So now, as you can see, here we have the analysis results data. These columns are related to result analysis model itself, but these columns are related to CV session model. So that's why we need to have that relation in place if we want to access directly to the parent model or to the related model directly without do the querying twice. That was the whole point of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye bye.